Y'all, y'all, the way I just fought for my life is actually crazy. I don't know what that was. I hate summer. Um, but as I was talking to y'all, there was something I saw something on the corner. I was like, "What is that?" And then it got caught on like something, a spider web or something, and then it fell, but it flew at me and I had to get out of Dodge. So, and you know one thing about me, I'm gonna run for my life. Um, so I literally grabbed everything and moved because what? And I feel like I should finish with you guys because we need to finish this recap, right? Because we got a lot to talk about. And yeah, so you just got an exclusive of Lauren fighting for her life. You're welcome. So now we're here in my living room or kitchen, really, recording. And let's hope that this portable light does not die so that you guys can see me with some brightness and some light and higher quality. We ain't got the big gadgets yet, but we will soon. So let's just hop right back into it where we were talking about. Um, we pretty much left off. See, now I'm paranoid. Okay. We pretty much left off where we were talking about Zach. This may be what I get for talking about that woman husband, but I'll say it again and I'll clock that T again and again and again. That man, in my opinion, based on what I see on television, is borderline abusive. Mentally abusive to me. And I don't like it. I think she should be extremely concerned. Um because again, why are you every time you don't like something or whatever, you just want to pick up your family and you want to leave? Like that's weird to me. You always want to isolate. And then yeah, like I was saying, was with reality TV, there's a reason why the husbands on the shows say like let the women do the women, like let them do what they do and it's not being taken personal because this is literally what this show is about. So for him to just take it so personal to me was just like, yeah, no, you gotta like chill on that. This is not um y'all, how do I delete a video? That's crazy. Why am I not able to delete this video? Okay. That's wild. I don't know how to delete this video because there's a video I need to delete that I was trying to do at the same time. But anyway, so yeah, like stay out of women's business. Don't take this personal because this is literally the whole show and the whole point of the show is for them to be catty, for them to be messy, and there's no reason why you should be taking it this way. Taking it a little bit too much for me. Um Which is not expected, that happens with newbies for sure, but it's just I don't like that. I don't like that isolating, or how he just dogs her any anytime she makes a bad decision, and if we clock what he said in his confessionals too, he was trying to say something without trying to say something. He was trying to say something without trying to say something because he didn't finish his sentence, but it sounded like what you were trying to say was Jen can be dense, and you feel like it's your obligation to protect her and help her make better choices. Do you know how misogynistic that sounds and condescending? 'Cause he was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna say it because 'cause I'm gonna get in trouble." So, that Zach that we saw, he's still in there. I see. Okay. He's there. Yeah, cause he came out quick in his conversation. Cause they ended up pretty much not finding a resolve. He was upset. He was like, "Why would you have friends do this to you? And they're just mean." And, he was super critical, and I think that, like, this is something that Zach needs to understand and learn is she's allowed to have experiences not work for her without your judgment, especially when you haven't even let her like, she's a grown woman. If she needs to have a conversation with Jesse and Demi, she has to be that person to make that decision, has to be that person to have those conversations and can get to that conclusion on herself. And I don't think Jen disagreed necessarily because, yeah, I mean, if you guys knew you didn't leave off on the best of terms, I would be looking a little bit side eye at them too because they were absolutely messy the entire night. Let's just keep it for real. But again, this is where you let the women of the show handle it. You let them hash it out. But I think to be super critical because of her decisions that she made that you didn't agree with, which is totally unfair. That's not being support, that's being critical. And him not really wanting her to be a part of this situation. And I'm not here to argue if that's a couple they should be on the show or not. But you know, like, but let's just keep it for real here. What she's doing is paying the bills, and I fully believe that man's did spend that money that his parents gave him on school. I do. I believe it. I don't think Jen lied about it. I think he didn't want it to come out, like I said last episode. I think he did, and he's benefiting off of what Jen provides, but, men who can't handle that. Now you wanna be super critical, you wanna, like, control. And again, if they need to have that conversation on whether she should do the show or not, that's a separate conversation, separate thing, but it seems like you are okay with it because you're on the show, you're so open about it at this point. Stop dangling it over her head and making her feel bad for doing the show. It's just weird to me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And so, yeah, they're rocky. He is upset, he's angry, he's not gonna talk to the men about it because I don't like what happened. So, yeah, what y'all think about that? I'm really curious, right? Because I can see both sides, and there goes the light. I can see both sides, but I also can't see both sides. I also can't because I do think that we're kind of doing a little bit too. This light does not charge. I think I got it from Amazon. Does not stay charged. Doesn't last long at all. So I hope you guys can see me. Sorry, we're poor quality, even poorer quality today. But hey, we'll keep on, keep going. So we get that conversation to take place and to happen. Then I believe we get a couple meetups here. We get a meetup where Jess and Demi are talking to Taylor and who's the other? Michaela. Yeah, have a conversation with her, recapping the night, and, they're already ready to not talk to Jen because they feel like she's a liar, she's manipulating, and we only heard her side, and you're only telling us what you want us to know about Zach, and you wonder why we don't like him, and that. Here's the thing, we've said this with Bravo shows before, and really any reality show, right? It it gets very dangerous when your cast is trying to ice someone out, and production has to step in and make sure that that does not happen, because you kill the momentum of the show. The whole point is for y'all to be a group of friends who happen to be a part of Mom Talk or in the Mormon church, and you have just because you have an issue doesn't mean now I need to consider if you're still a part of Mom Talk. That is getting old, and we're only on episode 3. That's getting extremely old. At this point, everyone who's on the show is in Mom Talk. There's no if she leaves, she's not. No, they're out. They're in it. That's it. It's the cast. Who do y'all think y'all are? Production? Casting directors? You don't have a say on who's in Montauk. You really don't. You don't own it. Y'all are just on the internet and do the videos together, yes, but it's getting weird and it's getting annoying that any hard time you have or any disagreement you have, you're questioning if people should be a part of your group is giving high school, and that is very annoying. That's really annoying to me. Um, 'Cause so now Jen and Jimmy don't really want anything to do with Jen, which I feel like is a bit of an overreaction, I'm sorry, because it's like at the end of the day, if I'm a wife because they're wives, you know, sometimes you bring your mouth a little bit too much. You know, you telling the wrong friends, and they can't move on and let it go. But once you realize, baby, that's your husband, it's nothing for me to be upset about. I would not care. I just been like, "Oh, okay, don't talk to me about it no more. How about that?" And that would have been the end of it. So the simple fact that they're just, like, holding on to it and making it a thing and then questioning if Jen should be a part of Mom Talk is actually crazy. Like, I'm like, y'all really are the drama. Y'all those 2 right there are the messy queens of this season, of this like, of this group. They messy queens for sure. And this is where I don't need groupthink to happen. I need people to be their own people and individuals, and it does seem like Taylor is that person where she's not about to just go along with, "Oh, you're not talking to them right now," which I appreciate, where, y'all got a gold mine with her. But I need this group thing to stop. It's annoying. 'Cause now you have Michaela and Layla talking about, "Yeah, it's just getting weird. I don't know what Jen has going on, so I'm gonna just kinda fall back." Why y'all doing that? Be your own person. Did Jen do something to you? Why are y'all going along with Demi and Jesse because they said this going on? I can't stand that. Who else was there? I forgot. I can't stand that. Like, we gotta be grown-ups here, but at the same time, they all are just about prefrontal lobe age, so that also makes sense. But it's just like, come on. Are we not adults? Are we not adults here? I don't like that. They gotta cut that out. Production cannot allow it to happen because it's gonna get old very quickly. And especially with, like, adding people who wanna now be a part of Mom Talk. Yeah, we can't do that girl need to be I forget what was her name? She need to be the last person added to this group for a moment, if she even is added in this group because we not no, we can't y'all not production. Y'all don't run this. Production should be production. Too early for this lifestyle culture. It just is, and I'm off my soapbox now. We get that situation to happen, then we deep dive a little bit more into Michaela's story, which we find out, of course, Michaela has the skin condition, and she does think that it's attached to some of her emotional issues because she does speak up and speak out about her past where she was SA'd and, how it's affecting her currently and her views on sex and how she's working towards healing and getting help and support, so we see that happen in this episode with her family and with the therapist for making steps to not push it away, but actually resurface and let it influence it. So we see her make those strides. I will say I did enjoy seeing this side, like this moment, these moments of the episode because it gives you gotta have something else to balance the drama, and then just keeping it real, she really brings nothing else. So this was the first time I was, like, interested in what she brings and has to offer on the show. So I was like, "Okay, this is good." And, it's brave for her to come on the show and speak out and talk about it for the first time, because that's not something easy, period, alone to share on TV and to share as a Mormon if you take it a step further. So I commend her for that. That was a really good moment and part of the episode. So I think the only thing that happened on episode 3 oh, we did finally get um oh, 2 2 major things that happened. I'm tripping. So, after we get that moment, we go into a surprise from Jen, back to Jen, get a surprise, which I think I said this last week, the girl pregnant, is what it was. The girl finds out she's pregnant. We already knew this because we cast photos. So we get that moment, she's upset. What I, again, observed and found very interesting was Zach's reaction. This girl is upset that she, mind you, she already got you 2 of your kids. You're distraught. And then when she expresses that distraught, do you think Zach consoled her? At least from what we saw. Do you think he tried to make her feel secure in that moment? No, he just sat there and hugged her. There was no reassurance. There was no, like, security, no encouragement. I was like, "Yeah, girl," which but also, let's also talk the tea. If you pregnant, were you and your husband ever actually really separate? So was this all a facade? Are you playing with us, Jen? I'm sorry. I have to think that. Like, are you playing with us? And it's giving that you were again, like I said, you were embarrassed and you only made you're making changes to give yourself relief from the criticism that you actually have changed. You actually and that can be for the both of them. Because 'Cause Imma say it like this too, and Imma also give Jen a couple of ding heres or some dings here as well. She is passive aggressive. Jen is very passive aggressive because I don't think it's okay to set your spouse up either. Um, so you knew this man don't like that. You knew this probably too soon. You probably should have said, "Hey, Jesse Demi, actually, you have some don't do it. It's okay. Don't do it. I'm not gonna do that to him. We it's too fresh." Or excuse me, you're telling people like you're aware of things, but then when it blows up in his face and he's caught off guard, you're not forthcoming that you already knew or you knew that this would happen. Yeah, she's passive aggressive, like, you're looking for people to fight your battles for you, or you're not direct in communicating. I will give you that, Jen is not. She is she's passive aggressive. She is. That, however, does not take away from the fact that he is controlling. Um, so we find she finds out she's pregnant, she's you know, because 'cause they're in a rocky situation, they just had a big fight, I don't think they ever got it resolved. So, we get that announcement. We also do see Zach meets up with the other husbands. Let me tell you something. Jess' husband was finna give Zach the business, and I re he you could tell he was about to give him the business, and I'm with I'm with Jesse's husband. I was. 'Cause he brought it up, he said it bothered him, he didn't find it funny, he thought it was disrespectful and inappropriate to be doing that with for his wife. I don't know, and I think this okay, I can't find my words, let me find them. 2 things came out of this for me. 1, and I just gotta say it, how white people communicate is totally different from black, cause the way that they walked around what they were really trying to say absolutely drove me mad. Like, I was like, "We are different." We are so different, cause just I was like, "Spit it out. I know y'all felt some type of way. I can see it in your faces." But the way that they just walked around the words and were super careful and delicate and, like, I was just like, "Y'all, please, you are about to get me." 'Cause it's like, "Just spit it out. We know that you're like, dude, you need to chill. Like, do you really think we want your wife? We don't. Who don't? We don't nobody want your wife, and we're your friends. What make you think like and that's the thing. It's just like, if I consider you my friends, y'all my friend like, y'all I know y'all are not being vindictive or y'all are being, being deliberately just mean and nasty to me, okay? Because we have that friendship. So, I would not wanna, like perception that they are trying to, um, be vindictive towards you is crazy of Zach to reach and go to, right? And so in the conversation, he finds out Jen had already known, and they thought it was a bit. So now he's realizing, "Oh, Jen wasn't being forthcoming with me. She wasn't being completely honest." Y'all, hold on. Mhm. Y'all getting exclusive. He followed me in here, the beetle, but we got him. You stay ready. Stay ready, you don't have to get ready, okay? Stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Y'all should sponsor me, Raid. Sponsor me. Ready, you don't have to get ready. Whew. Now we can talk in peace. So, anyway. Woo! My mirror is drenched. But anyway, okay. So, yeah, like, that's where I'm saying Jen is absolutely passive aggressive because you knew and you can 2 things can be true at the same time. Zach can be tripping, but you can also communicate better, and that's my and Zach and she be skating by. She be kinda yeah, she's not the best communicator, but also Zach still is tripping. Zach is still I think she's scared, and I think somebody said that her response gives that she's scared, and I agree with that stance and that with that opinion, that I do think the way that she communicates and how she does show up or, the lack of saying things to her husband, I can definitely see where that's a reaction of, "I'm scared he's gonna be critical or he's gonna say something, so I just let other people do it 'cause he's not like, he is coming from them, not from me." So, I definitely think it is a little bit I can see that for sure. But they ended up being okay, like, "Alright, bros, whatever, they're fine." And yeah, so I pretty much that wraps up episode 4, and I might have gotten to a little bit of episode 3, um, a little bit here. I think I did when it came to meeting up with the husbands. I think we actually moved into episode 4, which is fine 'cause let's just pick it back up because there wasn't a whole lot in episode 4, so we won't be here too long. But essentially, we get now a perspective or we actually get a sit down. I talked about this. Oh, no. I forgot to mention the sit down with, Taylor and her former best friend who is now wanting to join TikTok Mom Talk again so that she can make the same amount of money as them and be famous. Um, they finally have a sit down, and she finally get a honest answer about what went down at those sexcapades, and then it was that Taylor did not lie. Like, we knew Taylor wasn't lying. I told you one thing about it, Taylor and a liar. She's not. And yeah, the girl just had to admit it at this point. 'Cause Taylor just started naming what they did. Like, she said that they were intimate in the same spaces, making out with each other. No, they weren't swapping partners, but they were all there doing their own things and doing stuff. So, once Taylor laid it out, the girl was just like, "Okay, yeah, we did do that. We already knew that. You're just mad that your Mormon family saw it. So why like, hey." And I get it, because you gotta answer to people at church, like, it is embarrassing, and yes, I can see I can understand more if you're more so mad at Taylor for sharing it, but no, they really wanted to make Taylor out to be a liar, and it's like, listen, I understand, but y'all grown at the same time. It is what it is. You grown. What we gonna do? Beat you? They not. Just, "Hey, yeah, we did it." But I could be mad at you for spilling that tea. Absolutely, I can do that. Which, to be fair, Taylor never really said who it was initially. Those people came forward because the people in her community knew Taylor's circle. So, but I can understand if you had some feelings because she spilled that information, but to say that she's a liar is absolutely crazy because Taylor is an open book. She does not care. She really doesn't. She is who she is, and that's one of the many reasons why we like Taylor and why Taylor is a perfect casting, to be quite honest with you, because she's gonna be herself no matter what. So she finally admits it, finally gets to a point of understanding, and then we move on. I don't remember if this was episode 3 or 4, but we're in episode 4 at this point, and we get, um, a dinner or lunch where Jan is now meeting up with Taylor and, um, Macy, I believe. Yes, Macy. And so, you know, they discussed, obviously, Jesse and Demi, and another reason why Jesse and Demi are upset with Jen is because Jen was, insinuating that Demi was being a little bit too flirtatious while they were on, T Bravo, had to be Bravo or a spinoff show. We went to Italy or something. First of all, when did this show come out? Like, does anybody know? Because 'Cause I'm seeing the clips and I'm like, "When did this happen? How was this advertised? How did y'all get on this show?" And I wasn't it with the people with Summer House, if I'm not mistaken? So I end up on the show, some guy expresses his interest in Demi, and pretty much Jen is saying that she was flirtatious with this man, and Demi was and then it somehow Jen was trying to get it back to her husband or something. So Demi is upset because she felt like Jen was really trying to come between her marriage and her behavior. And yeah, so that's also a part of the reason why they're upset, which is a more legitimate reason to be upset, you know? So it's brought up at this lunch, and Jen gives more details about what happened at that what happened, um, outside the country. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't too much. Like, I'm like, "Okay." Like, she said that, okay, she was flirting with him, she was giving him attention, and speculated something other things might have happened, not like they slept together, but, like, she was pushing the envelope for her to be a married woman, like, the boundaries wasn't clear, so she was just kinda like, "Are y'all still married?" So we're kinda hinting that Demi and her husband not together because I believe in recent tabloids, they might be separating or going through divorce. Let me tell you something, these I said this last week, these women divorce like it's like they just but mind you, Demi and her husband have a significant age gap. So, anyway, we won't get into that. But so that happens, and Taylor's like, "What, girl?" And she's just so, "Yeah, that's Jen's perspective on the situation." that this is what happened and it was inappropriate, and so, she named it and told her that, like, "Hey, you need to be careful," and, yeah, so we'll probably pick up on that a little bit more in episodes 5 and 6 because I do think that they're, going on a trip or something, and that's usually when stuff like that goes down. Move on to Layla, where we knew that from last season. Layla got a divorce. She was single. She's never had an orgasm. The girl has 2 or 3 kids. She's not even she even 25. So, she has a new boyfriend. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think of her boyfriend. Imma leave it like that. She got a new boyfriend, like, so I'm no longer interested in her story. Imma just say that for sure because I would've liked to seen her date, be a single woman, and we got none of that. We got none of that, none of it. Um, but we actually do talk about her in this episode, and I believe it's Marcy who decides she's gonna host a lingerie party for her and bring in a sex therapist because now she's in a new relationship, maybe to have someone specialist come in and give everybody some, um, things to use in the future. I will say, and I don't know, see, do we wanna get into that before? Yeah, okay, we can get into that because I'm pretty sure I already covered episode 4 when talking about Jen and her husband. I'm pretty sure most of that was in episode 4, not episode 3. So, yeah, the meat outside of those conversations with Jen and her husband, the meat of it was the party. And so it was a very, um, risque type of party, but it was like a girls' day. And what I found very interesting about the party, and I don't know if this speaks to them being Mormons or how patriarchal, right, the Mormons can be historically, but it was so interesting when the premise of this show is supposed to be sinners versus like, who's really a saint versus who is kinda like, "I grew up Mormon, but I don't do this no more." Like, this has been that battle, especially season 1. We see this. So we have girls that are more liberal than the others who tended to be more conservative. One, it now seems that most of them have thrown away their religion. Like, I don't know who's still actively going to church anymore. Um, and can do some things, I guess. But so we saw that battle. And so for there to be women in the group who are more liberal, who are more not as strict, conservative, don't have relationships where they're conservative. It was so interesting to me to see them all clutch their pearls when the therapist asked them what does intimacy look like for them? Like, what makes them happy or makes them feel desired? To see them all clutch their pearls, like, "What? I never that I never thought" that is very interesting, and you can unpack that. I found that part very interesting. Very, very interesting because 'cause I'm just like, is it because you guys are religious or because we favor men so much that actually when you have a time to think about yourself and what your desires are, you can't compute because you've been trained to be a woman. I thought it was very interesting to see. I thought it was very interesting Mila was asked, like, "Well, you know, what do you consider essentially intimacy?" And she couldn't answer the question, and she was just like, "Wow." And so to hear her story that she ended up getting, pregnant as a teenager, then got married, she married him. It like, 1, there medically could be something wrong there. As she went and researched, it's giving no, which is very interesting. But 2, to see that reaction says, "Dang, did you suppress yourself so much, like, because of shame?" And that is your view because you grew up in such a conservative space, right? Like, I thought that was very interesting. I thought it was yeah. So, what y'all thought? I'm curious. Um, 'Cause it said a lot about their culture. It really did say a lot about, yeah, the spaces that they grew up on, and yeah, that was the biggest thing that really happened in this episode, I would say. Um, and so I guess we'll see and find out. I really could care less, to be honest with you. Like, I'll stand on that I don't I still think Michaela and Layla, although we got more from them, really don't benefit the show, especially if they're gonna just follow where the group goes, like, they can't actually be their own person, stand on their own convictions, who they like, who they don't like. If they can't do that, I'm not interested 'cause you then don't serve me, and that's my issue with them, is 1, although they do have, some interesting stories, when it's time for them to show their individuality, they don't, because they're following the herd, and that annoys me. So, I don't put in ratings on my episodes. I haven't done ratings in a minute, but I feel like I should rate. Okay, so I don't think I talked about episodes 1 and 2. I think I would say episode 1, ooh, was maybe like a 6. I give it a 6. Episode 2, I give it an 8. I was entertained. That argument had me like, "Oh, what's about to happen?" You know? I'll say 7. I'll say 7 because episode 3 is when we really, I think, started to see it unfold, so I give that an 8. There was a lot of things. Yeah. The episode 3 and 8, episode 4 will probably give a 5. Yeah, 5. I'm gonna keep it real. Um, so far, it's good. I just think that I hope that fame doesn't get to their head. It seems like it already kinda is and how they move. The biggest thing with reality is just being authentically yourself, and I can tell that these women are enjoying the attention a lot, and long term, I'm wondering, like, will that get boring? Especially people like Jesse, Demi, who are acting as if they don't know what their actions have caused. Um, Taylor can't carry the show on her own. I don't really care, like, the new girl really is boring. Layla and Michaela are boring. Well, I don't feel like we're getting enough Macy, like, Macy, to be honest, should be moving producer, like, she should be your moving, what am I trying to say? She should be the person moving stuff. Like, she is your insider moving the storyline, and I don't know why she's not being utilized, and I don't feel like they're being fair with Whitney in her edits. I don't feel like they're being a little fair with her, which she is having a baby, but again, like, if they're gonna make a show, y'all cannot be catty, 'cause Whitney, y'all need her. You need her in the show. So somebody needs to forgive and get her back in the groove and get in the group with y'all, and y'all actually act like y'all want her there. And it's the thing, it'd be people that's not least interesting, the loudest. Layla and Michaela, "Baby, you have to be here. I forget you're a part of this ensemble, please." So, yeah, they need Whitney, and, let me tell you, we gave Whitney the villain title, but right now, for me, The villain is looking more like a Jesse and Demi, and I don't know which one yet is taking the cake, and I guess we'll find out in episodes 5 and 6, but they are giving villain vibes to me a lot more because the way that they're moving is like Mean Girls, in my opinion, so we're definitely gonna come back and recap this. We'll come back tomorrow, yes, because all episodes are out, so there's no reason to drag this out as much. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about episodes 5 and 6. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, to my new YouTube channel as well as my TikTok. We definitely do we post some questions, and we'd like for you all to answer them. Love to hear what you feel about it. We'll definitely mention it, especially for episodes 1 to 2. We'll do another one with episodes, 3 and 4 as well, 'cause I wanna hear what y'all gotta say about this, I feel like it's too quiet. This is why they shouldn't be releasing all 8 episodes like that, 'cause it just died quickly, like, really? But yeah, like, I definitely wanna hear what y'all have to say, so go ahead and head over to our TikTok and our Instagram at the Lions Den Podcast, and let's talk about it some more. I would love to hear your thoughts, and we'll bring it up, on tomorrow. But thank you guys for, watching, and I hope you guys were entertained. It was not my intention, but here we are. Uh, but I'll see you next time for another eventful live stream recap. Bye.